Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Tim Stenovic, and we're joined by Bloomberg television markets correspondent Nora Melinda. Nora, a lot of stocks making big moves in the after hours. What are you watching?
Keeping eyes on Oracle shares, that's ticker ORCL, as well as Dell Technologies, that's ticker DELL. We saw a lot of activity today as it relates to the headlines that we saw coming through toward the end of the day. Both stocks were lower at the closing bell today on Thursday, but a little bit of activity in the after hours trade, pointing a little bit higher. Oracle up about 1.2%, Dell up about 0.2% here in the after hours trade. This, of course, comes after the news that we've been hearing about TikTok. I mean, we had JD Vance saying that the U.S. version of TikTok will be valued at $14 billion here. Trump saying that TikTok investors will include the likes of Dell and also Rupert Murdoch here. So, I mean, of course, that's going to bring some welcome support here as you're seeing this play out here in the after hours trade. We'll have to see how all this trickles out.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because we did hear from the vice president, JD Vance, who said the U.S. operations of TikTok would be valued at around $14 billion, but also said, stay tuned. We'll get more details on this. And, you know, Bloomberg has done some reporting too today about who's actually going to make up the investment consortium, what that would look like. But still, the devil's in the details. We'll have to wait and see what that looks like.
Absolutely here. Let's also take a look at Jabil. This is JBL. Hope my pronunciation's correct there. You know, we all gotta hope so here. But we did see shares down as much as 6% at the closing bell here. And this is after Vital Knowledge. Of course, the analyst came out there flagging the AI segment margin miss here for the company. The manufacturer reported results. That, of course, they said that the headline numbers remain strong, but they think that this is a net negative given the miss on intelligent infrastructure margins as well as the full year 2026 guidance here. So a little bit of activity here, pressure on the shares at the closing bell today.
Okay. What about Tesla? This one's been down all day.
Tesla has been down all day. It's the worst performing stock in terms of all the Mag 7 names that we saw play out today. And of course, this comes after the fact that they had a 22% decline in sales in Europe last month in August. And the funny part here is the fact that European consumers actually were buying electric vehicles last month. We did see a rise there, but it seems as though they're not a fan of Tesla, at least according to the data that we saw last month.
A rise in car sales in the region, a rise in EV sales. Hybrids were a particularly bright spot,
right,
but a 22% decline for Tesla.
Not a good look here for the company. I mean, they've been dealing with a lot of struggles. If you look at the year to date, though, they're up about 4.8%.
And what did shares do today?
Shares today, they did end at down 4.4% at the closing bell.
Okay, Costco reporting earnings after the bell today. Stock moving around in the after hours. What's going on with Costco?
Well, we did see them shed just a little bit of shares down a little bit, about 0.2% lower at the closing bell today and a little bit lower right now as we speak. But their earnings did beat expectations. They're really citing steady consumer demand. I mean, if you think about Costco, it's really a bulk place. And if you think about Walmart, you know, you might get one or two items there, but you go to Costco and maybe Sam's Club when you want to see things in bulk. So they are seeing consumer demand despite the uncertain time period right now, especially if you think about finances right now for the average U.S. consumer.
Yeah, I think you got to think about this in the context of not living in New York City where we don't have room to put stuff that you get at Costco. But growing up, I don't know if you went to Costco when you were growing up, but it was like a family affair. And
Absolutely.
We would bring, you know, the coolers to keep everything cool.
Right.
Yeah. It was an era for sure. And
yeah,
they've just been firing on all cylinders.
I mean, decades. I used to always go to Sam's Club. I think it really depends regionally about which one you have. Southwest Virginia, we were a Sam's Club crew, but Costco, very, very similar here.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.